Welcome to Living Life and Love. I'm your host, Mark Braxton from Raleigh, North Carolina. This is a global vitiligo awareness and education podcast. You will hear the true and authentic stories from people living with vitiligo. You'll also hear from their loved ones, medical professionals, licensed mental health therapists, relationship counselors, global vitiligo support foundations and organizations, community leaders, and so much more. Sit back and enjoy Living Life and Love. Once again, I'm your host, Mark Braxton from Raleigh, North Carolina. Welcome to Living Life and Love. I'm your host, Mark Braxton from Raleigh, North Carolina. On today's show is Raney from New Jersey. How's it going, Raney?
It's going fine, man. How are you doing there, brother?
I'm doing well. Welcome back. Welcome back to the show. When I did my radio podcast, you were on a couple of times, and this is my different platform on YouTube. So I welcome you back. And just to start it off here, for people that don't know, yes, we do favor because we are cousins. We're first cousins. So yes, it's a family thing.
It's family.
Absolutely. So you're gonna see some similarities and it might be a little craziness, but that's cool because that's how we do and family get together. So Todd, before we officially start our conversation, just introduce yourself and share whatever you want to share, then we'll jump right into it.
Sure, absolutely. Like my cousin Mark said, I'm Raney, from New Jersey. I live in Hamilton, New Jersey, which is more like central New Jersey. I'm married, been married for about 20 years. I have an 18-year-old son. I am a stand-up comedian. I've been doing comedy for about 20 years. I'm also a network administrator or a computer tech. I've been doing that probably just as long as I've been doing comedy, about 20 years or so. Comedy is my passion. I'm a stand-up comedian and also a writer as well, and I do sketches and I guess I guess you can say I do sketches and things on social media as well, on my social media platforms, which is my name, Ty, T-Y, last name is R-A-N-E-Y, comedian. So it's Ty Raney comedian. Comedian Ty Raney in all the social media platforms. And that's pretty much where you can find me and, find my things of interest as well, where I'm performing and what I'm doing next. I have a website as well called tyraney.com, and that has my latest shows and what have you there.
Absolutely. And all that will be built into this podcast. So that way people can know how to reach you and all that good stuff. And I wish I could say I'm a comedian. I'm not. I'm a school teacher, and when you're teaching kids, and I teach young kids, third graders.
Okay, yeah.
You don't know what you're gonna get. You don't know what the kids are gonna say. You don't know what they're gonna do. You
got to have a sense of humor, though, man.
You do, man. And you got to learn how to switch it off from I'm mad to okay. I'm laughing again, and sometimes I'm laughing because I'm like, okay, I'm upset at you, but I'm still gonna smile because you're in trouble right now. Or that kid to get smart with you, but I'm like, but you can't read.
Well, I won't say that to you because there's a lot. You got to have a lot of patience to be an educator, brother. So I definitely tip my hat and thank you.
Man,
thank you very much.
I appreciate that, but I swear my patience was gone right before Christmas. I would say that to some of the kids, like, look, I'm done. I'm done. It's gone. Like.
Well, that's why you get such a nice break. That's why educators get such a nice 2 weeks, right? You got about 2 weeks.
Yeah, we need it, man.
You need it. You need more than that. I think you need more than that, man.
People don't understand. And then when the summer comes, you get the whole summer off. Most of us are working. We don't have funds like that to just make it through the summer because we're scrapping for pennies too.
Understood.
But we try to enjoy as much time off as we can because it is challenging. You're going to have kids that might cuss you out. You got kids that might cuss each other out. You might have kids that want to fight you. I mean, you got kids, you got all types of stuff,
Absolutely.
And then I got kids that can spell very well.
Okay.
Curse words.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
can't spell regular words. Like you can't spell and, but you can spell the curse words.
You
Okay, that's
you
cool.
can't spell refrigerator, but you can spell such as.
You can't spell the, but you know some four-letter words that you can
Oh
spell.
boy.
And I'm
Mm.
like, okay, but no, but on a serious note, but I thank you for being here. We're going to talk a little bit about comedy, and then we're going to talk about some man stuff, because with men, it make me
Yeah.
think about that commercial that comes on YouTube all the time about the hoodie. This is a man's hoodie, a real hoodie,
Oh
only
yeah,
real
yeah,
men.
yeah,
That's what
yeah.
I'm thinking
Oh yeah,
about. You got that kangaroo pocket, and it's like,
yeah.
okay. So let's talk a little bit about comedy.
All right, all right.
I know comedy now is starting to evolve and change, and I've had a chance to go see some comedians right here at the Improv in Raleigh. Um, and I feel like if you're going to a comedy show, you should be prepared to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I don't understand at this stage why people get offended when they go to a comedy show and then they want to tell the comedians what to talk about, what not to talk about. And I'm like,
Right,
you went to their show. So what
right.
are your thoughts now on like just what comedy is and where it may evolve into or what it may evolve into?
Well, first off, I ain't playing with the audience when it comes to stuff like that. I'm not there to pander to the audience. I'm there to entertain. I'm there to give a perspective.
Right.
I'm there to you know, to provide funny. I've been, contracted to do a job. Um, but comedy has gotten very fickle, very particular. People want you to adjust for them.
Right.
Everyone's easily offended nowadays, and it seems like it's more prevalent now because we have these, excuse me, we have these devices. So
Oh
everyone
yeah.
everyone feels like either they're a comedian in their own right, they they feel that some sense of entitlement,
Hmm.
and from what you're saying on stage. I don't know what the audience gets from, you know um, interfering with a comedian when they're trying to do their thing. I understand some comedians can be very rough. Some
Yeah.
some comedians can be very offensive. Um, but you are there to see a show. I mean, a
Right.
lot of times you shouldn't take a lot of stuff seriously. It's all just jokes.
Right.
A lot of my material is based off real life situations, but they're exaggerated into jokes, into a form where you can, where you're just kind of letting your hair down. You're just, having a good time, just laughing. So a lot of times I don't have those particular issues just because of my material.
Right.
My material is more family oriented. I'm not a clean comic, but you can get a burger with or without cheese.
Right. Right.
Whatever is called for the job, I do. But I haven't, I personally haven't run into an issue where I've offended an audience or an audience member to the point where they're disruptive and I can't go on with my show. I have encountered a crowd where um, their political
Mm,
view
right.
may make them a little standoffish with me. And this was just recently, last week. Um, and that can make it a little awkward.
Right.
Predominantly white crowd that's has a different political kind of background or belief or whatever. They just, you know, you still get laughs at them, but you can tell that you're really trying to win them over.
Right.
And you know, I think that's all part. It's all part of the course. Trying to find a area where you can get in and find a happy medium where everybody can come to a understanding, or just a happy medium where everybody's enjoying your set, so to
Right.
speak. Sometimes it could be the engagement of the host or the comic before you, rallying people up, getting people all hyped up or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
And then you got to kind of, that's when the professional kind of comes in and says, okay, this crowd's not really my crowd, but I've been asked to do a job. and you just go ahead and just do it. I believe that, with politics and with these devices and with social media, the world has gotten a little bit smaller because of that. And I'm only saying that because it just seems like things spread a lot faster with all these devices.
Right.
Somebody's holding the phone in your face. You say something that's offensive to one person, and all of a sudden
Right.
you offended a whole continent.
Right.
It's so a lot of times, what was, back in the day before we had social media and the ability to um spread, I guess, news so fast, you have more of a chance to maybe defend yourself, maybe kind of let people see what you were trying to get at. Sometimes you could say something that could be offensive, with people like, oh well, let me hear him out. Maybe he wasn't saying that. Sometimes people can take these videos, edit them, run with it,
Right.
and it just gets, sometimes it gets blown all out of proportion. Fortunately, I haven't been caught up in any kind of situation like that,
Right.
but I have seen it, and I think it's just because a lot of people are just, we're on these things 24/7, and we're so sensitive. We're I think we allow ourselves to become sensitive and offended by things that we probably normally wouldn't be.
Right.
But I think because we engage with these phones all the time, and these phones are clever enough with this algorithm, they funnel and feed you things of that interest, and
Right.
it kind of
Right.
feeds whatever is bothering you, whatever is not bothering you. You know what I mean? It's like you've ever looked at one thing, and then all of a sudden you can't get rid of it. It's on your
Right.
phone all
Right.
week. So you get a lot of that. So there's a lot of things that just lingers around, that makes things a little bit worse,
Right.
so to speak. Rather than where things used to kind of, you know, go away with
Right.
maybe little to no resolve, but it would go away a little bit faster. You,
Right.
you understand what I'm saying? And everybody, everybody is just, offended by some, to some effects. And I think some of that could be attention seeking, and some of it could be genuine. Hey, I'm offended by what's been done. You
Right.
know. So
And yeah, there and thank you for that. Because there's a lot of that that's happening where people are offended by some of the minor things you say. Something major can happen that
absolutely.
doesn't bother them at all. But
Right.
you say one little thing and that becomes offensive. And I'm
Yeah.
sure by me stating that we have some children that can't read, but they can read and write curse words. Some of them, somebody may be offended, but that's also a reality. If you talk
Hmm.
to other educators around the country, they can tell you we have children that they know all the negative things, they know all
Absolutely.
the slang, but when it comes to the curriculum, they don't know it. You know,
Right.
they're struggling with reading, they're struggling with writing, but then
Right.
somebody's going to get offended by saying, "Oh, are you saying that my kid is?" Nobody said your kid is, unless your kid is.
Right.
We're saying across the board, it's affecting everybody. And that's like with comedy, everybody feels like they could do your job better than you.
Hmm.
You know,
Absolutely.
oh, he's a good comedian, but I'm better. I don't know why he's up there. Well, if you really wanted to get into comedy, then you take the right steps or the proper steps to get into the business.
Hmm.
And with that, you got to accept the good, the bad, the challenges, and everything else that comes along with it.
Absolutely.
Just like any other occupation.
Mm.
Is one thing you did say. I do feel like the politics of today, of the past 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, has created this environment where everybody's hostile now. You
Yeah.
know, there was a time when you could joke about the president, you can joke about politicians, you can joke about what party you belong to or you affiliate with or whatever, however. But now you do it and people take it so serious, and it's like you've it's almost like you've taken a jab at their personal family. It's like, no, it's just how you vote, it's how you see things.
Right.
But I don't know. We become, like you said, very sensitive.
Hmm.
and there's an over influx of information that we get, like you said, because if I probably right now, when I hang up and go on my phone, there's probably going to be 20 ads about comedy shows
Absolutely.
just because I keep saying
Absolutely.
comedy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, yes.
It-
And you know what's so crazy? I think these issues always been around.
yeah,
Um, I think just now, with the social media, it's just blown a lot of things out of proportion. A lot of things. I mean, I mean, I'm biting my tongue right now because
I-
I don't want to say anything to to
yeah,
to
yeah,
offend to
right,
offend anybody.
right. You have to be
But
careful. Yeah,
but the couch of acceptance has gotten a lot bigger.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So we got to make room on this couch, and I have no problem making room on the couch. But you got to understand, if you're sitting on the couch with me, you're not exempt from anything
right.
else
You're
that,
fair
that
game.
that everybody else can get on this couch.
Right,
If you live on this big ball of dirt, called Earth, God bless you. And if you're able to find love, however you find it, gay, indifferent, I don't care. If you're able to find love in this cold world, God bless you. I'm happy for you. But there is space to make fun of that.
right,
On,
right,
on whatever plane it is, we live together. It's
right.
observations. It's personal opinions.
Yeah,
It's your take on life. It's the interactions we have with each other. It's all a part of you know life.
yeah. It is.
And living it. So I can see why people are offended, and I do understand there are a lot of prejudice that come with
Right.
people that live a certain lifestyle, and even besides that, even living that lifestyle, there's always some kind of prejudice towards anyone,
Right.
whether it's black, white, or you're too tall, skinny, whatever it is.
You got a couple of different colors on your
You
skin. I
got it.
don't like
Yeah.
you because you're
Yeah. It
multicolored.
could
I'm
be
like, all
somebody
right,
because,
whatever.
yeah, because, you have vitiligo. Somebody be like, I don't like him. He's
Right.
he's black and white. I don't understand. I don't trust him.
That,
It could be
yes.
something wild. So, I mean, it's just, I think a lot of people need to, put the sensitivity away,
Yeah.
and we need to really become closer as people.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And just hear each other a lot
Right.
better. You know what I mean? Instead of just kind of talking, we should just really start listening to one another. And if something is detriment,
Yeah.
then we should stop in a way. But I think a lot of times it's just people just complaining. Just
And yeah, and two, we got to be able to talk to each other and communicate to understand each other.
absolutely.
Because I may not understand why this person chooses this lifestyle or chooses this political affiliation. And then I got people I know, they may not understand, well, what's wrong with your skin? Well, if you really want to know, talk to me. Now, I may not give you a straight up answer depending on how my mood is. I might crack a joke myself.
Hmm.
I'm in that space, but there are people in our community with vitiligo that can't do that because it's such a serious condition for them.
Right.
I've gotten to a point where I work with kids. I'm
Hmm.
hear all types of stuff. There's a little
Kids
girl.
just say it. Kids
Yeah.
just say it.
Well, there's a little girl walks by my room every day. I love you, vitiligo. And she keeps going. I was like, oh gosh, stop. She says this every day. And my students are like, who is that? I'm like, I don't know. But that's what she says. And then I got other kids that they'll just stare at it and they'll be like, Mr. Max, what happened again? I'm like, you've known me for 4 years.
Right.
I've
Right.
already told you. I said, but if you still want to know, I will give you some details. And then I had one kid that was in the special needs class a couple years ago.
Hmm.
And he was mad at me because he wanted me to bet some money. And I was like, no, I'm not going to bet you any money, because first
Okay.
of all, that's not what we do in school. We're
You
not
can't.
betting.
Yeah.
So he was mad. And
Right.
so what he said to me was, well, since you don't want to bet and you owe me $2 because you don't want to bet, like I owe you $2 because I didn't want to bet. Okay. He said,
Okay.
I'm gonna turn you into vitiligo chicken noodle soup. It's like,
Okay.
what is that?
What is
He's
that?
he said it's chicken noodle soup with the white spots on it. I was like, oh crap. Okay. Yeah. I said, this is, but he has special needs. So I'm like, okay, how do I come back with that? But I thought it was funny, and I said,
Mm.
okay, I'm gonna fix him. So the next day for lunch, I had chicken noodle soup, and I broke up the crackers and sprinkled it all over the soup. And he's like, "What you eating for lunch?" I said, "That's chicken noodle soup. That's vitiligo chicken noodle soup." You said chicken noodle soup with the white spots, right? I didn't know it's a real thing. I was, nah, it's not real. It's just I'm just playing right along with you. But I think for some things you've got to learn how to, as you mentioned earlier, live your life.
Mhm.
You know, there people are always going to find something wrong, like you said, whether you're too tall, whether you're too skinny, too fat, too dark, too light, you don't got enough hair, don't have enough hair, your nose is crooked, all these things. They're always going to find
Mhm.
something wrong.
Mhm.
um
Mhm.
you don't like this movie, so I don't like you. It's a movie, it's not even a real person, it's made up character, but you don't like me because all this stupid stuff.
All this wild stuff.
Yeah, but just get to know each other, talk to each other, respect everybody's differences. That's what I say. Respect people's differences.
Absolutely.
You like chocolate milk. I don't like chocolate milk. I don't like milk at all. Cool, respect that. But don't look at me and talk bad about me because I don't like what you like. That's just how it is.
Right.
But this is a crazy place. So in terms of comedy, and I know you do things on like TikTok and other
Mhm.
social media.
Yeah.
How is that different compared to you being on the stage? Like, what do you see the biggest difference?
The biggest difference is the energy transfer when you're on stage. You're in person. You're able to see people. You're able to feed off of the energy of the people that
Right.
surround you. I think I do better in person when I'm in front of a live audience. Rather than I really don't do too much comedy, so to speak, on TikTok or Instagram. I do more family situations. It's
Hmm.
more of like a real time situation. I don't, it's nothing scripted. It's usually I turn the camera on and hey, I ask my wife a question or I interact with my son and
Right.
I give you like a glimpse of what's happening in the Rainey household. That's the biggest difference between my stand up and what I do on TikTok or social media. My stand up is pretty much material that's been prepared, things that observational things that I may want to point out to people. Uh, give you a background of my life a little bit so you understand who I am and
Right.
sometimes how I come to some of these conclusions and how my mind kind of thinks. But it really is the in-person energy transfer. That is something that is I think that's so important for me or for comedians to have. You can't really get it in a virtual show, even though I would
Yeah.
like to move into a virtual space because I believe there is an audience that likes to sit home and wants to stay in front of a computer and
Right.
like the convenience of their own home, and they wouldn't they would probably enjoy the show just as much if they were in person. So I'm trying to figure out that kind of space for people that don't want to get out or don't
Okay.
want to come out. But I really do enjoy a live performance. I mean, there's
Yeah.
really no way around that. It's nothing beats the energy transfer of people and talking and interacting with them and seeing them. And then after the show, sometimes they come up to you and be like, "Hey, man, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
great show." And then you've done your job as a comedian. And you're like, "Hey, man,
Absolutely.
that was awesome. I'm going to follow you on social media, and I want to see where you're going to be performing at next." So I definitely try to get out as much as I can, just for that energy transfer. Because when we're not doing it, we do feel a little bit rusty.
Yeah.
If I haven't touched stage in like a week or so, I feel like I'm losing my funny.
Right.
So,
Right.
and I'll talk to my other, my other comedian friends or whatever, like, oh, Ty, you tripping, you're not losing your funny, but you, 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 um, you, you feel like you're losing
Right.
something because it's almost like, the social media stuff when we're interacting, that's kind of like, I look at that as if I'm practicing, that's like layup lines.
Right,
You
right,
know, saying I'm just working on my instrument, which is just speaking and being funny, right? Articulating something in a way where people are laughing. And when you do that on stage, you get one shot. You know, it's not like if I'm recording it on my phone, I'm like, oh wait, let me record that. I said it
right,
wrong, or
right,
I didn't like the way it came off. You know, I came off like a jerk, or you know what I mean. And
right.
when you're on stage, you get one shot, and I kind of like that. It's in real time. You
Yeah,
know, so it's I try to be mindful of that stuff while I'm doing it. You know, but it I think it does last. Yeah, I think it does leave a more lasting impression, more in person than online, especially if they see you online, then they see you in person. It kind of reinforces who you are and what you
right.
do. So I try to make it my point to put on a good show, and trying to feed the audience BS when
Yeah.
I'm up there. You know what I mean?
There was one show I went to that was I was a little hesitant at first
Mm,
about going. It was a free show, and I was like, all right, free tickets, you know.
mhm.
But my hesitation wasn't necessarily the comedian. It was with my own condition because I said, okay, if I go in, you don't have a choice of where you sit. They sit you
Right,
wherever you sit.
right, right. They
Where
might
do
sit
they
you in the front, right in
Yeah,
the
and
front,
where did they
right in the
sit
front,
me? I was right in the front. I was like,
right in the
oh
front,
man, like stage right there. I'm right in the
right.
front. I was like, oh crap. And a couple of times he's talking to the audience, and he spoke to me a couple of times, but I could see he saw my hands, but he never said anything.
Right,
And it was
right,
almost like a relief, like because I know there's some comedians that are gonna see it and they're gonna run with it. But you
right,
never know. But I think he may have been one that identified, okay, this is somebody with a condition. Don't go there.
right, right.
But there's some, they see you, you're in the
They're
front, you
you're
are
a
the
target.
target. Yes.
Sometimes, yeah, you know what? Sometimes you can be a target. I stop trying to or stop targeting people that sit in the front row. I'll interact with them.
Yeah.
If you're
Yeah.
there, like, cuz if you was there in the front row of my show and you had a date, I would treat you like I didn't know you. I'd say, "Hey man, how long you guys been dating?" You know what I
Right.
mean? I,
Right.
I would do that because it kind of goes with what I'm about to talk about. You know
Right.
what I mean? I'm married, so I'm kind of picking your brain and seeing what's going on, and I'll talk to like the front row. I interact with those folks, and sometimes it does make for a good show. When people when you do interact with the audience, it kind of the audience kind of says, "Oh, this is a regular person." You,
Right.
you you
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, "Oh, he's asking us general questions. Oh, he's married too, or
Right.
whatever." It kind of puts them a little bit at ease, especially if they're in the front row and you're not making fun of them, but you're just asking them a question.
Right.
It kind of makes them relax. Like, who are he? Didn't make fun of me, or or
It-
or or
right.
to say, "Oh, that wasn't too bad."
Right. And that's how
That's
I
cool,
felt. I was like,
right?
oh, I'm good. All right. Now I can just laugh at the joke now. I can put my
No,
guard down.
I've been in
Yeah.
shows where, like the one I just mentioned, where it just seemed like the people that were there were on some other type of agenda,
Uh
and I had people in the front row just looking at me like this,
that waiting for it.
just waiting for it,
Yeah.
just looking at me. Or I had one guy just looking at my shoes the whole
Oh
time,
wow.
and I'm like, "Hey, brother, you on the spectrum? Everything all right?" And then people laughed at that because I talked about my son who was also on
Right.
the spectrum, and I hint to, I was like, I know if you on the spectrum, brother,
Right. Right.
I know, I've done the research, people laughed at stuff like that, but it all comes with the territory,
Yeah.
man. It all comes with the territory, So
Absolutely.
it's all good. It's funny, Mark. I welcome it all. I welcome it all because it's just gonna make me a better comedian and a better communicator,
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
regardless of what it is. So
All right. Cool. Cool. Well, let's switch gears a little bit. We've been talking about comedy.
yeah,
And
man.
I've been pushing to get more men to come on my podcast just to open up and kind of talk about man stuff. And I did have a group not too long ago.
Yeah.
And we kind of just, went around and talked about, men and dating relationships and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Let's talk about man stuff. As we get older,
Yeah.
things change. And
Yeah.
it was so funny because for people that don't know, I'm 52. Yes, I know I don't look it.
Damn.
No, hold on now.
No, I'm just messing with you,
No,
man.
no, that's cool.
I'm just messing with
No,
you.
I'm good. I'm good. And matter of fact, gosh, okay, I gotta share this. So we went to the DMV. I took Miles down to DMV to go get a driver's license. They make you wait in line,
Uh-huh.
and this lady was in front of us, and she sparked up a conversation with Moms, and they were talking, and Moms was like, "Yeah, I'm 80." Lady was like, "You're
God
80?"
bless.
She was like, "I haven't even turned 50 yet." What? I'm sitting there going, no, she was like 75 and she ain't turned 50 yet.
Mm.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mom is blessed. Mom's
Your
look
mom's is
good.
blessed, but
Mom's look good.
let me say to the people out there, leave drugs alone. Leave those drugs alone.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you haven't reached 50 yet and you already looking 75, and we got
Mm-hmm.
my mom out here is 80, and you think, yeah, leave them drugs
Yeah.
alone, people.
Yeah.
But man stuff. So look, as men, we don't like to go to the doctors all the time. So,
Right.
I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to the doctor because I got this little, hardening right there in my belly, and I'm trying to figure out what that is. How you start pressing stuff, like, what is that? It's not a muscle.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Mm-hmm.
maybe it is. Maybe I'm getting a little 4-pack right here.
Right, right.
So I go to the doctor, and we talking, and he's like, "What you in here for?" Just physical, and I said, "But I got a question." I said, "I got a little hardening right there in the stomach, and trying to figure out what that is." He said, "Okay." He started doing all this pressing and all this stuff. I'm like, "You trying to make me go to the bathroom?" Like, what?
Right, 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 right,
Like,
right.
hold on now. He said, "Mr. Braxton, just want to let you know that's just a fat pocket."
Yeah.
I say what? He's it's
Yeah.
just fat, and then sometimes it gets a little hard. He says, it's not life threatening. It's just fat." He said, we get older, we get these little pockets. I'm like, so in other words, you calling me skinny and fat at the same time? I'm like,
At
hold
the
on, man.
same
I
time.
said, you gotta choose one or the other, man. I felt some type of way, and I was like, damn, that's fat. You keep touching it after a while. I was like, I gotta go do some sit-ups now.
Yeah, I
I
gotta
was
do
like,
something about this.
yeah, because that fat pocket got to turn into a muscle somewhere. I'm like, hold on. But it's those real things. As you start to age, your body starts to change, and everything changes. and
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
and and my first that wasn't my first reality of when I got old. And I was sharing this with a friend, and I don't mind sharing this online because I'm just being truthful.
Yeah.
As you get older, you start to get gray hair.
Yeah, man.
Man, true
I'm
story.
embracing mine. I'm embracing mine.
Embrace your gray hair. But
Absolutely, brother.
my first gray hair, I think I just between my 40s, maybe 45 or something. I didn't get gray until later in life.
Mm.
I was driving to work, and I was like, what's that in my nose? I was like, must be a booger. So I'm getting the tissue, trying to get it out, like still there. You doing your thing. I
Right,
said,
right.
it's a gray hair
In my nose.
in my nose out of all the places, nowhere else but in my. I'm like, Lord God, why in my nose? I'm like, seriously. So I did the man thing to do.
That's right.
I reached in there and pulled it.
Right, right.
Ty almost died that day, man.
Did you bleed?
Man,
Did
I felt my eyeballs go in the back of my head. My brain was coming out. Hey, my nose started running. I ain't gonna lie, I was crying. I was sitting at the light, got to the light, I'm crying. I know people probably saying, why this guy cry? Man, that thing hurt so bad. And
yeah,
it was still there. It did not go anywhere. I said, okay. I'm like, Lord, we're gonna have to have a conversation, man. Because
right, right,
why ain't you just put it here? Well, I got the gray hair now, but like, why don't you
right,
just put it over? You put it in my nose, and and that's the one place that everybody gonna see it. And why ain't you
yeah.
warn me not to pull it out of my nose? I said, I tried to kill myself. I said, no. I said, I won't do that again. Mm-mm. So, look, for people out there, do not pull your gray nose hairs. Don't do that,
Nah, man, let that stuff
man.
trim it. But
Trim
listen,
it. Yes.
cause I'm different too. I'm not I have friends that dye their beards. I
Mhm.
see one of my
Yeah.
friends. It was so funny. I see one of my partners, right? And I'm looking at him, right? I'm talking to him. I'm looking at him. I'm like, damn, your beard dark, man. I'm like, you. I was like, I could have sworn you was gray before. He looked at me. He's like, nah, I dyed it. I'm like, how often do you do that?
Just let it be gray.
I can't do that. I don't have the patience
No.
and
Mm-mm.
I don't have the time. You know what I mean? Just to it's let me tell you something was funny though, Mark. A couple years ago, before everything became more pronounced or more
Right,
gray,
right.
I actually I actually thought I had this under control. I was able to pull the gray.
Oh, nah,
Now,
don't pull them gray, man. Don't pull
at
the gray.
at the time I may have had like 35, 45 hairs. It was enough to count. Now I'm like, I was like, oh,
Mm-mm.
forget it. If I start pulling, I might as well just shave it all off. Because
Just shave it off.
listen, man, embrace it. Because unfortunately, we all have some partners that didn't make it
Right, right.
to even have gray hair. So
Absolutely.
I'm thankful to have the gray hair. I mean, I'm 48, you're 52. I don't even know if you had a prostate exam yet,
That's on the way. Have not had it yet. It's on the way. Yes.
brother,
I,
because I scheduled mine and let me oh my gosh. Let me tell just the mental preparation for
I,
that
I know. I know.
alone. And then talking to other brothers, just trying, just trying to make sure you good. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's like they're gonna put me to sleep, right? They're like, oh yeah, they're gonna put you to sleep. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, because I gotta be asleep during that procedure. But we need to get that procedure done. And as
Yeah.
black
Yeah.
men, we really it is
Yeah.
important for us to go and see the doctor. I mean, there is a stereotype where brothers don't go and get checked out until it's too
Absolutely.
late. And we all do need to just like you said, you went and got your stomach checked out because you thought something was happening, a growth
Right.
or
Right.
whatever. That's part of the step.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I went there um just because I was 48, I was like, you know what? I'm doing this vegetarian living. I'm about to change back to eating
Yeah.
fish and chicken and all this other stuff. And I just was feeling weird. I was like, I really want to sit down with a doctor. And, this is not the age to be lying to your
Right.
doctor.
Right.
This is the age to tell him. I tell my doctor everything. Sometimes I tell him too much. He'd be like, oh, okay, hold on. I tell him everything. There's nothing. I'm not keeping nothing secret to a doctor. It's too important,
Yeah.
you know. So I do have a prostate exam in April.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. I have a show in April. I have a prostate exam in February.
Okay.
Different type of performance. How I mixed up a show with the prostate exam? I don't know.
Oh,
But I got a prostate exam in February. And to get to that point, it was just a lot of ongoing testing, a lot of, meeting new doctors,
right. Right.
and just being open to it, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody has to do it. So, I'm encouraging you too, Mark.
Definitely.
You got your
Definitely.
stomach checked
Yeah.
out. Now you just
Now
gotta
it's
go
time.
and get the
But
other side.
you got to work your way down. See, I had to start off with my lungs first.
There you
My,
go.
my first health scare was really with my asthma. I'm
Okay.
out there. Back when I was married, I'm outside cutting weeds and grass. I'm like Indiana Jones out there. Stuff was flying around, and
Uh
and trying to make the yard look good.
yeah, yeah.
Get in the house, you know, a couple hours later, I'm like, oh, don't know what's going on, but my breathing is kind of, shallow. Maybe it's my
Yeah,
allergies. And
yeah.
it was my allergies. I was having an allergic reaction to all the grass, weed, and all that stuff.
Right, right, yeah.
And it really hit me hard. Well, I didn't spend a day in the hospital, but I did go to the ER and they immediately jumped
Mm,
on it, got me whatever I need.
right,
I
right,
don't know what they gave me,
right.
but if I can have that every day, I would feel like the real Captain America. That stuff was good. I was like,
Uh
"What? I'm
they
ready."
must have gave you
Shoot,
a steroid or something,
man.
man.
Yeah, I'm sure they did, but whatever
Yeah,
it was, I was like, man, there's some powerful stuff. I feel good. I don't even want to drive home. I just want to. I'll run home at this point. So I dealt with that aspect of not being able to breathe, and I often tell people, I said I'm more concerned with my asthma and allergies and making sure they're under control than
Mhm.
what my skin looks like. Vitiligo is not going to
Understandable.
kill me. Anything else can.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, working my way down. I got my lungs, checked out my stomach. Now,
Gotcha.
yeah, now's the other time. Yeah,
Yeah, man, I
we,
got my
we go.
eyes done and you see,
Yeah,
I'm wearing
eyes too.
glasses
Yeah,
now. I got I had to get glasses because I was looking at my phone like, what the heck? Like I couldn't. I was like, what? I couldn't see my text messages coming in. I'm like, this. What really happened? I was on the turnpike and I'm looking at the turnpike ticket and I
uh-oh.
couldn't look at the price. I was like, oh no! I was holding it
Yeah,
so far away. I had to
man.
hand it to the person. Like, what is it? I was like, how much am I paying?
Right. I mean, but that's a reality of getting older, man. You got to
Yeah,
get your
man.
glasses too, because you go
Yeah.
to the restaurant, they have you hand you a menu, and it's dark in the restaurant. They got minimal lighting, you can't see, so I got to use my phone. Like, hold on, put the camera on and zoom in. I say,
Yes.
no, just get the glasses, man. Just get the glasses.
Yeah, I feel better with my glasses.
Yeah,
They're transition lenses, so the top is fine, but I just need them magnified for below when I am looking
abs-
down,
right,
reading my
right,
phone or
right,
a book or whatever,
right.
and it's made all the
Yeah,
difference.
and I wear them like if I'm on a computer. I wear my
Yes.
glasses, because I have allergies in my eyes too, because they'll start itching and all that. And
Mm.
I was like, dang, so the same allergies messing up my lungs and my eyes. They're like, yeah, it's just you just messed up with your allergies. I'm like, dang.
Mm.
So of course, everybody got all the remedies for it. You should try this and try that. No, it
No,
just
go
I
get
just
some glasses.
yeah, I'm good. Oh, if
Uh,
your allergies, you should try this. No, I'm allergic to grass and trees. There's a whole bunch of trees outside everywhere I go. Unless I go to Alaska, then it's too cold.
yeah, yeah,
I
right.
mean, but there are trees there too in certain parts. So therefore, it just doesn't matter. I'm allergic to nature, but I love
Right,
nature.
right, right, right.
But it's just reality. You got to know what's going on with you, not just with your health, but also your emotions and your mental health is important, for men,
Absolutely.
because, we get this, we had a discussion about the Superman syndrome, as men.
Mm.
Nah,
Mhm.
no, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm always good. Everybody asks you how you
Right.
doing. I'm good. I could be falling apart. I'm good.
Yeah.
But also you've got to know the people or your inner circle that you can talk to, because you
Yeah.
can't talk to everybody.
No,
So
you certainly can't. You certainly
absolutely.
can't. Yeah.
Now,
I have a therapist I talk to.
okay, good.
Yeah, I've gone to therapy. I haven't been in a while, but I have gone to therapy, and I think I do need to go back to therapy. And if my wife hears me saying this, she'll probably be applauding because my wife is a therapist.
Right, right.
Um, but yeah, I mean, we all need someone to speak to. I
Absolutely.
don't speak to my wife in that type of therapeutic way, but she does. But my wife does listen to me.
Right.
When I do speak to her in some respects, but I do recommend therapy for people. If
Absolutely.
you're open to speak to somebody, please do. It does make a difference.
Right, right.
It does make a difference.
And even for the brothers out there that may not want to go to therapy,
Hmm.
if you have a significant other or whoever, talk to that woman or whoever you're with. Talk
Yeah,
to that person.
yeah.
Open up to them.
Openly. Yes,
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 yes.
yes.
If you're feeling sad, say it. If you're feeling mad, say it. Frustrated, say it. Because I sure know the last couple of weeks of school, man, was rough. Like I don't know what
Mm.
the kids were on, but I have my peeps that I talk to, and I was like, yo, middle, y'all get on your book. I got to talk to somebody because y'all would not believe what these kids are doing, and I just had to get it out, And then once I did, I was like, okay, I feel better.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
you, an educator, you have to deal with so many children personalities, and then you have to deal with staff personalities,
And then
and then the
the parents'
parent
personalities on top
personalities.
of the kids.
It's so much that it's layers of stuff that you have to deal with. I believe firefighters, police officers, and educators should be the top paid positions
No,
ever.
I
I mean,
I
yeah, I
agree.
believe educators are too important.
I think
Your job is too important, Mark.
I think
You know
they
what I
should
mean?
give us the salary of every football player that has never touched the ball.
There you go.
If you just standing on the side going, Coach, hey, give me that salary.
Give him
Yeah,
that. Give
yeah.
him that. Yes, I
Let's switch
agree.
salaries because
I agree.
we are on all day long. We never
Yes.
turn off.
Yes.
Even when you
It's a
go to
lot.
lunch is like,
It's a
and
lot.
you're back. Like you
Yeah.
don't get a break. And
Yeah.
people like, oh, y'all sit in the break room. You ain't got time to sit in the break room. You
No.
might have a chance to heat up your food, but you're heating, eating, going to get the kids. There's never a break. You hope somebody give you a bathroom break. When
Right.
stuff goes down, you hope you get support, and there's always something new that we have to teach. Oh, the district wants you to do this now. When?
Yeah.
Next year, right? No, it's got to be complete by tomorrow. School
Yeah.
over. I mean, what do you mean by tomorrow? But it's like that. That's what we have to go through and deal with. And then you want to be able to come home and be at peace.
Yeah.
You want to be able to come home and have somebody that says, baby, how was your day? You know,
Right.
or not even ask, just say, come here. Just say, come here, give me a hug, and it's gonna be all
Mhm.
right. They only need to know
Mhm.
what happened throughout the day. Just say it's gonna be okay. You know,
Mhm. Mhm.
because I'm just saying this out there to anybody that's in a relationship. Just do that for your man. Don't even ask him what's going on. Don't ask him what's wrong. Just
Right.
when he walk in that door, just give him a hug. That's it.
Give him a hug, man.
That's it.
That's
That's
it.
it. And just don't even talk. Just
Be his
yeah,
peace. You gotta be his peace, man.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot that's happening, and it's not just with educators, just with people in general, and with men in general. There's a lot of stuff we deal with that people don't see. Um, we have to be the protectors sometimes, even when we don't realize it. Even out in public, when stuff happens, people look at us like, "You gonna help?"
Right.
This
Right.
just happened. And sometimes it's not even somebody else, because I thought about a situation. I was at a stoplight,
Mm.
saw an accident happen right in front of me,
Mm.
and without hesitation, parked the car, ran to help the lady, make sure she was okay. Told some young girl was filming, get off your phone, like go help, like call
Right.
911,
Right.
whatever, trying to make sure the lady's okay. I wasn't even thinking about myself at this point. And then, me and another lady got the lady that was in the accident to the curb because her car was leaking fluid. So we didn't want to
Mm.
risk, you know, anything
Anything
happening.
igniting or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, because then
Yep.
that's much worse situation. But after it was all done, I talked to the police officer, and he was just like, "Do you know what happened?" And I said, "I saw what I saw." I said, "But my main concern was helping this lady." And I think just as men, sometimes it's a reaction. I didn't care what the lady looked like. I didn't care her affiliation, anything. I just know somebody needed
Absolutely.
help, and
Absolutely.
maybe to that lady, I was her Superman that day. But it wasn't my place, so to speak. I could have gone on like everybody else, but I felt like,
Absolutely. Yeah.
as a man, it was my
But as a
place to
man,
say
yeah.
to help.
Yes, man.
Yes.
Yes, man. As a man, you
Yeah.
you are a man's man. Yes. That's what we're
Abs-
supposed to do. I
absolutely.
mean, we that's something that we sign up for by default,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's just a role that we play,
Yeah.
in society, that we should all play a part of in society.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. Yeah, absolutely.
Because this world needs help. There's a lot happening, and I think going into 2025,
Hmm.
it's going to be a little crazy,
Oh yeah.
and it's already crazy. But I think we're going to need people to step up, and I'm not just going to say men, but people to step up to be there for each other.
Hmm.
Um, Already, people are already like at wits end, and we haven't even made it to the next year yet. But they already just know it's going to be a crazy cycle,
Hmm.
and I feel like there's got to be people in place to really say it's going to be okay. Relax. You still got to live your life. And I've had that conversation with moms. I said, regardless of what happens, we still got to live.
Yep.
I said,
Absolutely.
life does not slow down, does not change for us. Yes,
Right.
we have to navigate it differently if these things are going to impact us.
Hmm.
But at the same time, we still got to be able to show people that we love them.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Man. Yeah, so we getting deep on here. See, y'all thought we were just gonna be cracking jokes. We getting deep. No,
No, we
this how
getting
we
deep,
do.
brother. We getting
Shoot.
deep.
No, but I think people need to hear these conversations because I think the next few years, I'm not even gonna say 4 years, few years, it's gonna be a transition time for a lot of people.
Oh yeah,
Um, from regardless of what job you have, whether it's a government job, education, whether you're, down to the sanitation worker or whoever, I think we're all going to have some pitfalls or some struggle moments. But I think we can get through these times if we help each other and put
absolutely.
aside our pride, our differences. You know, that person's white, that person's black, but I can't help them because of that. No, no, no. Put all that aside. People are
Yeah,
people, you know.
yeah,
Um, Absolutely. And in the meantime, we got to learn to laugh.
yeah, absolutely.
That's going to be
You
important.
gotta laugh
You got to laugh because stare with this. Why is laughter so important? Yeah, I'm bringing it back to the comedy. Why is it so important for us?
because because life is too serious, man.
Yeah,
It's too many serious moments that you gotta laugh in between, man. You gotta have some comic relief, to kind of release some of this steam,
right,
some of this pressure that some people feel either from their job, from their spouse, from whatever they're feeling it
yeah,
from. You need a little bit of comic relief.
absolutely.
I think that's valuable. Being able to laugh and enjoy a situation and letting your hair down, letting your guard down, and just enjoying yourself. With family or friends or company, whatever that be, whatever that is. But you got to be able to laugh. I
Yeah,
mean, look at how 2025 is, like you said, it's going to be an interesting year.
yeah.
There's already some interesting things happening in the news right now with some of our celebrities.
Oh
But
gosh, yeah.
yeah. So you gotta laugh at some of that, and you gotta look at it like, oh
This
wow,
is serious. This is
this is
real.
this is serious, but wow,
But
you know.
let me hear what Dave Chappelle got to say about it. You
Let's
gotta
yeah let's
laugh.
let's hear the take on it,
Yeah,
because sometimes you got to a lot of stuff you got to take with a grain of salt,
yeah,
and it's someone's life that
yeah.
is going through the ringer at the
Yes,
moment. But
yes,
in the moment, in that moment, there's an opportunity to learn and grow.
absolutely.
And in that moment of growth and learning, there is a moment of humor in
Yeah,
that as well. And I think the humor kind of helps us digest a lot of things, that we probably shouldn't be laughing at, or something that we should, or something that we probably can't process at the moment. So we kind of laugh at the moment, and then later on we can kind of examine and look at it and like, you know
right,
what, maybe we should look at this situation a little bit different, or under a different circumstance, or a different set of eyes. And
right.
but I believe laughter is going to get you through a lot of stuff.
Look,
Definitely.
I'm telling you, when I get home, sometimes I'll go on Instagram and look at all the teacher posts
Mm,
and some of the comedy posts about teaching, and I'm like,
yes.
oh, I go through that. Oh, I dealt with that, and I'm like, so that reinforces I'm not the only one dealing with that. Like the kid that just
No.
gets up and start walking around the classroom for no reason while you're in the middle of teaching.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Where you going? Where you going? And they look at you
Mm-hmm.
like, huh? Like you didn't know you just got up from your seat and start walking around the class. Like that's a real thing. People we deal with that. So when I look at some of the other teacher posts, I'm like, man, this is a real thing. So everything we talk about at my school is happening at somebody else's
It's
school
happening. Yeah,
with their
man.
students. And I'm like, okay, good. And I sit there for hours sometimes and just laugh at posts at the post until I finally said, let me go do something productive.
Yeah. Right.
Go like go watch Netflix or something, see what movies on Netflix.
Yeah. Yeah. So because
Oh,
everybody's, because you dealing in education, ADHD is real.
it
It's
is
real,
real.
and you deal with it firsthand every day.
Yes. I'm like,
You know
hey,
what I mean?
hey, turn around, turn around. I'm teaching up here, up here.
Right.
Nobody's teaching in the back of the room. Turn around, the whole body,
Right.
turn around, right here.
Right.
Or there are times I'll just stop teaching and tell everybody, shh, just look. And we look at the kid, like I'm trying to figure out what are they doing.
Yeah. And you know what's so crazy now, Mark? It's now I think we have more medicated kids than we've ever had before.
We do. Yeah.
I don't know if that's the case with you know w- with the grade you're teaching, but I know my son at some point was on an ADHD medication
Yeah.
along with a medicine for his spectrum just to kind of keep him focused and
Focus.
aligned in
Yeah.
what he needs to do. But you know, I think a lot of these kids need that special attention, not necessarily from the medication. Some of them do need it, but I think
Yeah.
they need a little bit more special attention, not just from the classroom, but also from home,
Yes.
and
Yes.
a lot of a lot of parents aren't equipped, or maybe they just don't know, or maybe they just don't know how to seek the
Right.
help that
Right.
their children, or sometimes you may not have the help that you need
Right.
available for your child. I mean, for our son to find for our son when we first had him tested and realized that he was on the spectrum for high functioning autism.
Hmm.
There were no African American doctors that specialized in that.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? And we did find one. There was only two.
Yeah.
I I don't want to be wrong about that, but the one we found, he was the only one. I want to say in New Jersey.
Wow.
I think there was. My wife said it was only two. He was
Wow.
one of two African Americans that was able to sit and diagnose your child and not just write a prescription.
Right. Right.
Sit and tell you this is what's going on with your child.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And it's like we went to so many doctors that just want to be like, oh, he does this, that, that. Oh, yeah, it's a prescription. Ba, 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 ba,
Right.
ba.
Right.
There you go. No, this doctor sat down and before he even met with our son, we described some things, and then he pretty much was finishing our sentences
Wow.
as far as what we would see. He'd be like, oh yeah, and your son does this when he plays with cars. Like, yes,
Hmm.
yes, he's probably on the spectrum. And, you know, people just need to be educated about autism. You
Right.
know,
Right.
it's more of an understanding of what your abilities are when you
Hmm.
are on the spectrum, because there are different levels of spectrum.
Absolutely.
There are kids that need more attention
Right.
than others than what my son has probably needed, but it to know is half the battle, right? To know, and then
Absolutely.
trying to find a place is the other battle, and it just seemed like things for black folks is no infrastructure in
Yeah.
place. Like you really have to search high and low,
Right.
or you have to put your child in a mix of something that's probably not geared towards him, but something that is going to benefit him in some respects with monitoring.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was places that we would put him in, and we would kind of look like, eh,
Yeah.
he needs to be here, but not here.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's scary for a
Yeah.
parent to
Yeah.
not know, especially when when you feel that your child is acting out and they're being picked on, or
Right.
they're being targeted, and sometimes teachers could target your child,
That's true. Right.
my son was actually being targeted in the public school system just because they didn't have the infrastructure set up for someone that's on the spectrum.
Right.
But there's a lot of parents that really don't know their rights and what the public school system has to put in place once you start putting things in order,
Right.
and start, not raising complaints, but you start, putting a 502 as a 504B. I think it was a
504. Hmm.
504. And my wife, thank God she was a former educator and guidance counselor. She was well aware of a lot of that stuff that
Right.
the average parent probably isn't privy to. But also we weren't the type of parents where we were just going to sit back and allow the school system to kind of dictate how they're going to
Right.
treat my child and interact with my child, and they just weren't moving their feet fast enough. So, with that 504 in place, they're supposed to pay for your accommodations at another school for
Right.
your
Right.
child, and that just never went down our
Oh,
way.
okay.
So we just kind of said, you know what, we have to cut our ties and move our child to another situation, because it's
Yeah.
not beneficial for him just trying to wait out a system.
And it all
Yeah,
I'm gonna say it all depends on that school system too, and
yeah,
if they're equipped to handle it.
absolutely. Yeah.
Like we have a large county here,
Hmm.
and my school is actually an overflow for several other schools, and we do have programs
Mm,
for students that are in a little more severe cases.
got it.
Um, and But there's some schools that I didn't realize that there are schools that they had no programs.
Right,
And that's why we were getting all the students. Like, oh, okay.
right,
Figured
right,
it out.
right.
We're more equipped to handle various situations, like you say on the spectrum, you have those that are very severe and those who are highly functioning,
Hmm.
that could be in just the classes like everybody else and nobody would ever know, you
Right.
know. Um, but my school is equipped to handle that, but it makes it a challenging day sometimes for certain students. They may have a challenging time if they don't have what they need.
Right.
Um,
Absolutely.
or sometimes if, there was something that happened at home and it hasn't been worked out yet, and
Hmm.
that child brings it to school, and then the teacher has to
Hmm.
figure out what happened. It's a little bit
Hmm.
of everything.
Hmm.
And then understanding the kids, fire alarm goes off. You got a fire drill. Some people say, why is that child acting like this? Well, you have to understand what it's like to live, as somebody who may be on the spectrum. Those things can trigger
There's
other
triggers.
things. Yeah.
Absolutely. There's triggers,
Um,
man.
so you got to have you have to have things in place. Like I have several noise canceling headphones. So
Hmm.
I know if there's a fire drill, grab it. Let's go.
Let's put these on. Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I have students that I have in my class that I say, do me a favor. If we have a drill, hold this child's hand as we get everybody out. You
Yes.
know, just we all gonna stay together. So,
Right.
you have to have all those necessary things in place.
Hmm.
And what you were saying about the doctors, that's true. I think we don't have enough of our people in specialized fields.
Right.
Um, Even dermatology, we don't have a lot of our doctors, a lot of African American doctors in that field.
You're right. Yeah.
When I look at like the GVF, there's at least maybe 3 or 4 I can point out
Mm.
that are African American.
Right.
Then you have a few that are Asian, a few of there other ethnicities. But if you're looking in particular for an African American doctor that specializes in, let's say, vitiligo,
Mm.
nah,
You, you got to search.
you got to search, and it's not
If
here.
he's out there. Right. Excuse me. Yeah.
And we have a doctor here in this area. I'm not gonna say the name, but this doctor knows about vitiligo, but doesn't specialize in it. So when this doctor will see you, it's kind of like, uh-huh,
Mm.
giving you money without telling you that whatever prescription he or she's going to give you, it's not designed to work on hands or feet. It's only designed to work on your face in
Mm.
small areas. They don't
Hmm.
tell you that.
Hmm.
So it's almost up to our community to a certain extent to educate other people
Hmm.
about medicines and how it's going to work.
Right.
And the same thing with, you're talking about medicine for kids. What works for one child may not work for the next child.
Yeah.
This child
Absolutely.
might need a lower dosage, but your child, because they're older, might need something higher, and you don't know what the side effects are.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I see it sometimes, like certain meds, some kids may not eat.
Right.
They're
Right.
hungry, but they don't want to eat. They don't, man, I'm good.
Yeah. Or their mood,
Yeah, yes,
it changes their mood. They
yeah,
don't want to be in school.
right.
It could change their mood drastically,
Yeah,
where they can't meet friends, or they can't make friends or keep
right.
friends, so it could be a lot of things.
Absolutely, absolutely. Wow. But yeah, man, this is a deep conversation, and I
Absolutely.
think we're gonna have to come back and do part two at midway of 2025, because I'm sure by then we were like, okay, I might be bald completely by the time I come back because of stress. No. And for people that if you see right here that's not bald, it's gray. Okay,
That's
it's
the
gray.
gray hair right there. Yeah, this
But
right here. This is This is right
yeah,
here.
yeah.
The line moved. The line moved a bit, but we in the game somewhere.
The line starts moving after a while. You get more forehead. There's more knowledge right there. That's all. You get a
It's
little
just
more
more
knowledge up in the
lotion.
front.
Yeah, just more lotion, less shampoo. That's all that's happening here.
Like even when I get my hair cut now, I'm like, do me a favor, be gentle right here on the top because it's a little thin. It's a little thin back here, so ease up. Don't go too hard back here.
Yeah. It's funny. I go to Dominicans now, and the Dominican brother pulls out the scissors. I
Yeah,
haven't had scissors done on my hair since I was like in grammar school, but he pulls out the scissors just a little bit.
yeah.
I'd be like, okay, that's
Uh,
cool. All
If
right,
they
cool.
if they pull out the
Just
scissors,
take it
they
a
know
little
how to
bit.
cut. That's it. They
He,
know how to
he
cut. Yeah,
he's doing it with care. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
you're doing it with care. All right, cool. I appreciate that. So
absolutely.
I don't mind the scissors, man.
Well, I tell them up front, see that spot, ease up
Yeah,
on that. Don't
easy.
touch that.
Yeah,
You comb it over a little bit. Yeah, just right there, right there. No, good.
yeah. I don't even have to touch the front. I'm like, don't even do
No,
nothing to
no,
the
yeah.
front, man.
You want me to shape it up? Nah, just leave
Not,
it.
not,
Just leave it.
not,
Yeah,
nothing. Don't do nothing.
yeah, absolutely. But man, it has been a pleasure having you on the podcast and talking.
Always, brother. Always.
Yeah, always. And for people out there listening, if you get a chance, if you're listening, go ahead and check out tyranny.com. They can find you as Comedian Raney on social media. That's like TikTok, Instagram.
Instagram, TikTok,
Instagram.
all
Okay.
of it. Yes, that's where you
All
can
of them.
find me at. Yep, all of them.
Cool.
If you're
Most
not,
definitely.
just Google Ty Rainey, and all the links will
Yeah. And that's
populate there.
Raney. It is no I in Raney.
There you go.
It
Let
is
them know, fam.
it
Let
is
them
a
know, fam.
specialized Raney. There's no I. To the Rainies with the I, we know who you are. We got
God
someone
bless
right here
y'all.
in North Carolina. That's right.
We love y'all.
Yes,
But
we do. But it's
we
not the
ain't in the
same
same
Rainy.
tree.
Yeah,
We ain't the same.
yeah. It's a little different, Rainy, and we all the Rainies look alike. See,
Yeah. We have some resemblance to each other, man. So yes, sir.
absolutely,
Yes, sir.
absolutely. Well, Ty, man, it's been great. Tell the family I said hello, and I'm
Absolutely,
wishing
man.
you guys a safe passage into 2025 and all that good stuff.
You as well,
Um,
brother.
yeah, most definitely, and we're gonna navigate this year. Well, we're gonna navigate 2025. We're not even thinking about 2026 yet. We just got to focus on
Just one
2025.
year at a time. Just one year
Absolutely,
at a time, brother.
absolutely.
That's it.
Cool. For our listeners, once again, thank you for checking in. So, Ty, before we wrap things up, I always ask my guests to leave our listeners with some words of encouragement. Just anything you want to share briefly, then I'll completely wrap up this podcast.
If you need help, go and get it.
That's
That's
it.
it. I
Plain
mean,
and
it's
simple.
simple as that. If you need help, you feel like you need help, go and get it. It's out there. People are out there to help you through whatever issue you're having. You're
Absolutely.
not alone. You're not alone. So
Michael
please
Jackson said it
go and
best.
seek it.
And look, and if you go back to my old podcast, I've had licensed therapists on here, Nia Rose. I've had Stephanie, who is a relationship counselor, talking about relationship stuff. So go back and check out some of my older podcasts. There's a lot of information up there for you. Relationship podcasts, just anything I do, I feel like I want it to reach somebody. I may not know who that person is, but it's
Right.
something there for somebody.
Absolutely.
And as I always say, this is living life in love. Gotta love our neighbors sometimes. Gotta love our coworkers sometimes. Gotta
Mhm.
love your kids all the time because they need that love.
They
Even when
need
they
love.
become hard to love, still love them. Love your
Absolutely.
spouse. Let me say this. I know some of us get multiple opportunities to love various spouses, but the one you're with, love that person.
Absolutely.
Show that man or woman so much love because they need it, just like you need love. You got a significant other, somebody that you're dating, involved with, show that person love. Like we take love for granted. Let's not do that anymore. Let's go into 2025 doing something new, showing
Right.
people that we love each other. That stranger on the street, that person that could be on drugs, that person
Mm.
that is driving fast down the highway just cut you off, and you gave them that other finger that you don't have your ring on it. be nice to people because we don't know what
Yeah.
people are dealing with. Gotta
Absolutely.
pray for that person. Just say whatever they're dealing with is hope they get home safely because we don't know that. People need love. And most of all, before you can do any of that for anybody else, look in the mirror and tell yourself, I love you.
Love yourself.
Absolutely. You have been listening to Living Life and Love. I'm your host, Mark Braxton from Raleigh, North Carolina. Y'all take care and see you in 2025.
Peace. Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome.